残酷な天使のように少年よ神話になれ青い風が今胸のドアを叩いても私だけをただ見つめて微笑んでるあなたそっと触れるもの求めることに夢中で運命さえまだ知らない痛いけな瞳だけどいつか気づくでしょうその背中には未来目指すための羽があること残酷な天使の手で窓辺からやがて飛び立つほとばしる熱いパトスで思い出を裏切るならこの空を抱いて輝く少年よ神話になれ
I haven't been part of a team since I was with the Four Peters.
Hello ladies, hello gentlemen, AdSky here, and today I have prepared something special for you. You've been waiting for this moment for a long time now, and so did I. And finally, it is the complete review of Hunt Down the Freeman, Part 1. In the upcoming series of videos, I intend to dissect the game, sometimes quickly skimming through this mess and at moments going into excruciating details. Believe me, you can like or hate this video, but you cannot miss such a terrible masterpiece like Hunt Down the Freeman, and I will be your guide in this journey who won't allow you to get lost. The review will be more focused on studying the anatomy of the disaster itself, the story, the gameplay, level design, but in a rather light-hearted manner. For the most part, I won't be going into the background of the game, why and how it was created. Firstly, I am not particularly interested in that. Secondly, it was already done in the last video by The Right Opinion, and you should watch it after mine. And if you have already seen it and were intrigued by what exactly made the game so hated, you are welcome. However, I'm going to disagree with him in one regard. The Right Opinion implied that the comparisons between Room by Tommy Wiseau and Hunt Down the Freeman by Berkan Denizarian are incorrect, as Room was at least engaging, while Hunt Down the Freeman was not. And my task is to prove to you that Hunt Down the Freeman is just as beautiful and fun in its special way as Room was. Actually, I'm going as far as to say that it is one of the best trash games ever. Still, I should give some information on how this game was made, for those who have never heard about it. In 2016, a young, handsome Turkish man, Berkan Denizarian, perhaps even one of those Turkish who text Ukrainian girls to find a wife. Don't even ask, you don't want to go into this rabbit hole. So he started an Indiegogo campaign to create a standalone game in the Half-Life universe, where you would play as a villain, pursuing Gordon Freeman. Bruh. Expectedly, the hungry Half-Life fans were intoxicated by the idea of playing a new installment of their favorite franchise, and yeah, that didn't work. They got literally $12 out of 100,000 they requested. And that was that. But suddenly, 2 years later, Berkan returned from the void and together with his new studio, Royal Rudius Entertainment, announced that Hunt Down the Freeman is coming out in 1 month. On practice, it came out 2 months later, following constant shifts of the release date, and still was buggy as hell. But between the teaser and the release, for some reason there was a wave of hype regarding this game. Partly this could be attributed to Royal Rudius Entertainment hiring professional mediocrities, also known as YouTubers. I Hate Everything, Pyrocynical, Colossal is Crazy, Keemstar, they all notified their fans about them voice acting for the game. One of the most popular Half-Life related YouTubers, Bollocks, donated a hefty sum of $50,000 American dollars to the developers and obviously was interested in it succeeding. Secondly, the hungry Half-Life fans were intoxicated by the idea of playing a new installment of their favorite franchise, and this time it worked. The whole community anticipated the upcoming game. And in disappointing them all, Mr. Burkan created a masterpiece. Let's go for a hunt, shall we? The first and already extremely difficult task on your way to playing this masterpiece is its accessibility. Don't make the mistake, Hunt Down the Freeman is being sold on Steam freely and you can buy it anytime. But would you want to buy it for such an outrageous price? I definitely did not. That is why I started looking around different marketplaces. The problem is, the game was so hated that there barely were any sellers. This way, it would take the eternity to download the game. In fact, the only buyable version on such websites was the version 1.0, which I could not use for the review as it was unplayable, broken and didn't even feature any cutscenes. It took me a few days, a few nerves and balls of steel to find a 1.1 torrent. Even then, I did not really trust the website I was downloading it from, though this woman comforted me throughout the journey. So yeah, what I wanted to say, I'll be reviewing a rather older version of the game, which will feature a few bugs that may have been fixed by now, but overall will barely be any different. As I first opened the game, I was greeted with a scarred face and the main theme of the game. I have no need to be objective here, but I'll try. The soundtrack is really great. The game has a tendency to overuse this track, but I don't really mind as it is just great. Paul Humphrey was one of a few people who actually tried. I think they made a good decision of hiring a good musician. I mean, if they hired a bad musician and created a horrible soundtrack, this would be so much cooler and more suited to the game, but at least it's not mediocre. However, despite how much I liked the soundtrack, I had to spend the next 1 minute and 48 seconds in complete silence, because that is how much time it took for the damn game to load. The following sequence demonstrates us the life of our main character, Sergeant Mitchell. His father committed suicide when he was just a kid, and his brother was separated from him. Guess, how much is all of this relevant to the story later? Not at all. Or is it? Also, you may have noticed that the cutscenes are pre-rendered. This means in a few years they won't be looking as good on new monitors. Did I just imply that Hunt Down the Freeman will be played by people in a few years? Well, I certainly hope so. Though the cutscenes already look a bit crispy. And there he is, the unrecognized genius, Kojima's son and student, designer at Activision Blizzard. I must say I am impressed. On his Twitter, Burkan seems rather ironic about the game now and sees it as his experience. I would have nothing against it and would even say something positive, but allegedly he did not pay Royal Rudus Entertainment employees everything he has promised them, so I won't. But who knows, maybe the next Call of Duty game will be successful enough to allow him to repay his debts. The cutscene ends and we finally take our character under control. Beware, right behind you lies a knife, which you have used to kill that operative. Don't miss it, as I did a few times. As you may have already noticed, this is Black Mesa. Sergeant Mitchell was one of those HECU operatives that stormed the facility to liquidate any evidence and witnesses. However, it is already the last stage of the operation, right before the military decided to evacuate themselves. Now our task is to reunite with the comrades. Damn, this knife is really strong. Just don't mind that the subtitles say crowbar whack. Audio design in the game is quite weird. While being alright for the most part, we often encounter episodes like this.
Do you copy?
When you cannot hear anything a character says. Sometimes it's even worse. Do you remember the Vox announcer from the original Half-Life?
Alert, amigo, on the base.
A great, sexy voice, today memed just as any Half-Life sound.
I am badass.
Oh, how they have massacred my boy.
Attention, all Black Mesa personnel. Level 5 containment now in effect. Level 5 containment now in effect.
And I remember having issues with Black Mesa's new voice. Though Black Mesa had a tendency to make voices less cooler compared to the original. I will never forgive them for turning brutal soldiers into psychotic privates with a cracking voice.
Contact! 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 Contact!
Interesting how lowering the graphical settings only made the game darker. I could not miss the fact that the level designer was an average Symmetry fan, because that is the only thing that comes to my mind as an explanation for this square room. Like, we will encounter these all around the game, and trust me, right now we are looking at the game's best in terms of production quality. However, the fun part I have promised you is about to begin.
What the fuck? They're all dead.
Oh no, Mitchell, this one is still alive. Better ensure he's not. And finally, this happened.
Whoever it takes, however long it takes before I die, I will fucking kill you.
Sergeant Mitchell in the flesh. Or rather, his remains. I do have to admit, I'm impressed that you made it back, alive from Black Mesa, even if it wasn't our intention to begin with. Yet you're still here. You should have just died there, but here you are. You've proven yourself a man of rare conviction. But even this does not impress me as much as the words you speak. Whatever it takes, whoever it takes, however long it takes, before I die, I will kill you. Is that right? Well, you see, Mr. Mitchell, we cannot let you kill Dr. Freeman yet. They authorize me to offer you a deal. You will be rewarded with authority, power, and time. The only payment we ask when the time comes. Keep your promise, Mr. Mitchell. In the meantime, this is where I get off.
So apparently we were saved by G-Man himself for a purpose only he knows. I know it too because I have already finished the game when it came out, but let this be an intrigue for you. Or were we actually saved by a G-Man? In this monologue he admits being impressed that Mitchell escaped Black Mesa.
I do have to admit, I'm impressed that you made it back, alive from Black Mesa.
And survived, hinting that it was not G-Man's merit. In this case, how could he possibly escape? Even more strangely, later we find out that the 7-hour war is waging right now. However, the 7-hour war happened only a few years after the Black Mesa incident. Does that mean that Mitchell was comatose for a few years straight and survived while the Earth was in a state of apocalypse? Why did he wake up in the operating room then?
Shit. I'm losing too much blood. I need to patch myself up.
Was he being operated when the war began, or did G-Man just put him in stasis and released only now? Then why would he pretend that he didn't save Mitchell himself? A quick spoiler, he had almost no reasons to lie, and this won't be explained in the future. However, don't take my words as me hating the mode. I'm just pointing out how absurd and inconsistent the story is, because it is not the last time that happens. Up until now, the game seemed to be a rather mediocre mode in terms of gameplay, throwing hordes of boring zombies at the player and barely providing any fun. But you should know, Hunt Down the Freeman is not one of those games that throw all of their trump cards at you immediately. The true beauty of the game is about to show up. Let's just stay in this room for a minute to examine it. I won't point to the absence of a bed in the corner that was present in the cutscene. That doesn't even matter. What matters is the way the operating room was built. Notice how poor is it? White concrete walls and only one operating bed in the middle. A few drawers where doctors can put their shoes before the operation. Chairs, apparently so the assistants could relax and drink some coffee during the process. And a window so anybody could watch your heart surgery. I knew it would come to this when they first introduced those transparent kitchens in cafes and restaurants. Overtone window at its finest. And the only operating tool are giant pincers. That is the picture I imagine when I'm being told about our Ukrainian free healthcare. The next fragment I consider to be one of the most hilarious moments in the video game history.
Hey! Wait! I need that medkit, buddy! I need that! Come back here!
As you approach a medkit, literally in the middle of the corridor, a fucking firefighter runs out of the corner and steals it. And he doesn't even stop when Mitchell asks him for help. Mitchell's voice actor's actual good job in acting only makes this scene much more hilarious. And he fucking dies by a barnacle. You just cannot make something like that on purpose. This set piece, it is genius in its special way. After entering an elevator, we descend to the first floor of the hospital. Everything is dark and there are literal hordes of zombies around. Seems like the whole personnel was turned into zombies, yet zombies haven't killed a single person, and there are no bodies around. Also, the hospital itself is weird. Half of the hallways are blocked by metal gates. Makes me wonder who set up those gates in a hospital in the first place. Architects were apparently also hide through quarters. Here, the hospital corridor leads into a locker room, which not just has 2 entrances, but its doors are transparent. The locker room then leads into some kind of bureau that goes into an office that leads back into a corridor. Have I already mentioned that the level designer is a really weird person? This set piece is okay, as it is clear what your goal is and there is a tension created by zombies chasing you. On the other hand, if you slow down to look at them, you'll realize that they are too slow to be a threat. Oh, and there is a new feature in the game. You now can not only crouch, but lie down on the ground. I wish the game told me that when I was playing it for the first time, but now I quickly figured out how to pass this table.
Get down!
Yeah, another tendency that I noticed is that the cutscenes get weirder and weirder as we progress. The first 2 were well made, while this one is more wacky and stupid. This slow motion just kills me.
You alright? I'm fine, thanks.
An HECU? What are Special Forces doing here?
Yeah, Nick, what are they doing here? What HECU soldiers could potentially be doing in a zombie-infested hospital? Yeah, by the way, meet Nick, also known as I Hate Everything, a YouTuber who hates a lot of stuff. The point is, this is the first and not the last YouTuber you'll hear in the game.
I was about to ask the same question. National Guards?
Anyways, are you alone? Is there anyone else with you?
Negative. It's just me. What the hell is going on out there?
There is no easy way to put it, but as far as we know, we're under an alien invasion. Those things are targeting mainly military bases. It's been just 2 hours. First 1 big portal appeared, then 10, then 100. The best thing is to get the hell away from them.
What about the army?
There's no more army. No more military. We're the only ones left. Listen to me. We are gathering on the metro station on Brandon Street. If you can make it there, find Colonel Q. Tell him Nick sent you. Take this radio and map with the station marked on it. Use it. Good luck to you.
Mitchell.
Godspeed, Mitchell. Hey, Mitchell. Welcome to Albuquerque.
You know,
There's no more army. No more military.
there is actually a lot of military. Near the hospital you can find a grocery store stolen from Counter-Strike. Funny thing, these zombies are actually alive, but won't attack you until you get a weapon, even if you do everything to provoke them. By the way, wanna see how Sergeant Mitchell looks? I can't believe it. We were Gordon Freeman all along?
This is my knife. What the hell?
Well, technically it is not your knife. You took it from an operative you have killed back at Black Mesa. Funny how G-Man decided to put it in a side store, which, as Steam achievements indicate, a large number of people did not even find. Oh yeah, this game has Steam achievements. Oh look, here they are. A minute of walking leads us onto a crossroad, where soldiers manage to successfully build a trench despite the road asphalt. From both sides they are being constantly attacked by alien troops, who are practically reskinned combined soldiers with much more health. A newbie would think that they should help the soldiers to protect the trench, but in reality aliens will be attacking infinitely, so I'd better go forward before they stop killing military and switch to you. It is not easy to find, but you need to go into this alley right before the aliens spawn. Am I going to call it a bad game design? No. Am I going to mention that on release there was an invisible wall here that prevented you from moving forward? Also no. Honestly, fighting these enemies is so tedious, I simply cannot bear it. The gun has an insane recoil and aliens have much more health than usual. Even the grenade launcher doesn't save the situation. But fighting 4 aliens is not the worst thing yet.
Mitchell, do you copy? We just left the hospital, but the streets are either fucked or swarming with those aliens. We'll have to find another way to Brandon Street. And we'll have to find one quickly if we want to get out of this city. Go ahead, Mitch. I got this covered. The hell? There's someone on the channel. I will be...
Right after an important plot information, Birkin allows us to get jump scared by a loud explosion and marvel at the beauty of Source 1 physics. Hell, let's witness this beauty once more. So apparently, we now have a mysterious ally sniper in the hotel, helping us. We of course all remember how strong snipers in Half-Life 2 were, so nothing will be a problem for us now, right? Actually, more than a dozen of alien soldiers would, because even with a sniper, killing these 15 or so aliens took me incredibly engaging 3 minutes of hiding behind the cover and shooting with a crazy recoil. Oh, a shotgun. Nice. This will teach those alien bastards. Yeah, a shotgun that needs 2 shots to kill a zombie at a point-blank range. Players' arsenal in this game really sucks ass. Wow, what a beautiful hotel lobby. All square and looking like it came right out of early Garry's Mod maps with its puke-inducing symmetrical square design. I wonder how could it be even better? Oh, I know! By making the player run around it for 3 minutes, shooting waves of zombies while the elevator is coming. Honestly, this whole section feels just like Garry's Mod sandbox, where you spawn too many zombies. You can just abuse their AI and run around the furniture for the whole time. And that is what I love about this game so much. Where else could you find something as archaic and poorly designed? The authors had a blast coming up with the worst possible ideas for the game, and I can only applaud them for not withholding their talent. But yeah, enough of that for me, I am going into the elevator. Look, this time the elevator actually moves, and does not just fade to a black screen. On the top floor I found a pair of night vision goggles. It took me a lot of time and browsing to realize, but in Hunt Down the Freeman you have to put them on as a weapon, clicking the assigned number and manually using the goggles with the left mouse button. Okay, one of a few times the game managed to surprise me positively. Here I saw a fast zombie running through the corridor, and later turned out that it ran around the level to attack me. I didn't even know NPCs in Half-Life could navigate such complex routes. And in a few moments it managed to scare me. Nothing here. The area itself is really unremarkable. You just navigate through the corridor with your night vision goggles on, shooting zombies. There are many accessible offices and cabinets, but they have nothing interesting inside. At best, you can find a medkit, but usually they're just hollow, empty, and all look the same. And you know what does not look the same? A freaking marble Baroque staircase in an office building. Just look at them stairs. They look so horribly wrong, unfinished and out of place. I love them. Ever entering your office building and climbing it using the symmetrical polished marble stairs? Now you can. They seem like they came from a 20-year-old game. Though spiritually, Hunt Down the Freeman was always 20 years behind its time. Look, there is even an invisible wall that restricts you from going down. How could I possibly hate this?
So, you're that sniper, huh? Black Ops?
And you must be Mitchell?
And you must be the one on the radio.
I heard that you guys have a plan about getting out of the city.
Maybe.
I went in.
Why?
Yeah, Mitchell, why would he possibly want to escape the alien-infested city? I swear, these cutscenes are directed well, with the exception of camera work sometimes looking straight out of Xavier Renegade Angel. But the dialogue is so cheesy, I cannot just ignore these weird moments.
Hey, let's make a deal.
I'm listening.
Good. First, let's lower the guns, okay? I can get you to Brandon Street with shortcuts and give you sniper support, but I want in. I'm getting the hell out of this city. Alive. So whatever your plan is, I'm in. When we're out, I'll go my own way. Until then, I'm the only friend you got.
So tell me, Mr. Black Ops, why should I trust you? You guys fucked us over at Black Mesa.
Adam.
What?
My name, it's Adam. And we just followed orders. They sent us to do the job you guys failed to do.
You killed your own people!
Didn't you? By the time we got there, you guys already killed more than half the Black Mesa staff.
That was different.
Wow, Mitchell is a real asshole. I know that he's not the hero of this story, but that just sucked out all the sympathy I could have for him.
Face it, Mitchell. I did nothing different than you.
At least I didn't backstab my own brothers in arms.
I already told you it was an order. You ever disobey orders? Now I got a question for you, Mitch. How the hell did you make it alive from Black Mesa?
I found my way back. How did you get out, Adam?
Well, I guess I found my way back. So, Mitch, we got a deal or what?
Well, looks like you're in.
Alright then, let's get the hell out of this goddamn city.
Node graph out of date rebuild. University assignments forgotten. Cheap mic acquired. Yep, it's the detailed analysis of Hunt Down the Freeman Part 2 time. The last time we stopped after meeting Adam, a former Black Ops sniper who offered to show us a shortcut to the remains of military, and in return we would take him with us. Mitchell agrees to the proposition, and thus we enter the next chapter of the game.
Adam, are you sure this is a shortcut?
That's the fastest way to Brandon Street, trust me.
Smells like shit.
Oh, Mitch, if you did not like it in there, you'd better not look at this. 50 years of technological progress led us up to this moment when the 2D PNG sprites of combined ships literally fade out into the horizon. I'm sorry, I thought we were playing a video game, not a Premiere Pro beginner project. At least this three-dimensional gunship is here to distract us from the misery above. The only option I was left with was to run for my life. Finally, we reach a plateau, which too obviously was an arena. On this arena, we are ambushed by 8 hunters.
It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground!
At first, I expected it to be a fairly challenging combat situation, but it quickly came to me that their HP was significantly cut, because they died quicker than the combined aliens we've met before. After killing them all, the gunship disappears, and for a moment it seems like everything is okay. However, killing them sends you to hell, my personal hell, where I am being bombarded by a dozen of headcrab capsules and subsequently am attacked by dozens and dozens of these parasites. Honestly, everyone seems to regard headcrabs as these cute basic Half-Life mascots that everyone loves. I hate them. I hate them so much. Every time I've played Half-Life, Half-Life 2 or Black Mesa, they would not miss a chance to score a hit on me for 10 points of my health. Even if you see them clearly, there is no guarantee that you'll be able to hit them before they hit you. Now, here I am, being attacked by a small army of headcrabs. The only thing that saved me was the easy difficulty that was set automatically and that I decided to keep. Adam, please help me, I beg you!
This is my chance to go.
Thank you, I'll take this chance. Another Fade to Black. As you see, it is a favorite tool of the developers to transport Mitchell around the city. In a Half-Life game, it of course works horribly, but considering the specific game we are playing, I might cut them some slack this time. Now, this Fade to Black leads us downtown. We immediately encounter a set piece where soldiers are fighting against the aliens that arrived through a portal behind their backs. Don't rely at them too much, as they have a serious disadvantage in the battle and will die too quickly. The obvious conclusion was to kill all aliens and go that way. Of course, even with a machine gun, it took me much longer than I would want it to be. My biggest mistake there was shooting the one remaining alien in the portal, as it apparently spawned a dozen more, whom I had to annihilate once again. 5 minutes of my life spent on Hunt Down the Freeman just to realize that it is not where I was supposed to go. I was only supposed to jump into a hole in the ground. There I found a small army outpost where they fight against a strider. Okay, maybe fight is not the best word to describe it. The strider is the only one shooting, while the soldiers just repeatedly yell, while the strider kills them. No, still wrong. The strider clearly shoots the soldier a few times in the head and the soldiers do not care. Yet when I do it, he dies instantly. You can kill your ally soldiers as much as you want and they won't do a thing to you in return. After finally figuring out where to go next, our task is to pass the angry strider, who immediately targets Mitchell over the brain-dead Marines. The only way to go is into this garage. As you crouch inside, you can hear the strider firing his laser in your back. Yet, in fact, there is no laser. It plays the animation and the sound effect, but that is all. The garage turns out to be a much bigger parking lot than I initially expected. It is immediately distinguishable as an arena, and immediately I hate it. It is too dark, the enemies see me better than I do them, and suddenly this happens. The explanation: man hacks. For some reason, manhack damage was boosted greatly and they can almost instantly kill you in 2 attacks. Luckily, the HP was same as always. The parking lot leads us forward into weird lonesome corridors. Your task here is simply to find a wire that will allow you to power up a door and progress further. What is interesting, in Half-Life 2, this seemed to be a piece of alien technology. The slots are way bigger than you would usually see on our tech. Here, however, it is used to power our human technology. Is there still a point in pointing out every law inconsistency in the fucking Hunt Down the Freeman? Oh, hello Adam.
Good to see you, Mitch. Fucking hell out there. Here, take my gun. Take good care of her, alright?
Interesting how easily he gives away his gun. My guess is that the developers gave him a regular weapon, because they did not or could not teach a dynamic moving NPC to use a sniper rifle. Kudos to them for at least thinking about the detail of the sniper rifle needing to go somewhere. The next black screen teleports our 2 characters nowhere. What even was the point in doing the fade out? Half-Life's changed maps without black screen and it looked much better. Oh, wait, I was wrong. The fade out sent Adam and Mitchell to the parallel universe where the parking lots are directly connected to the metro stations. That explains a lot. Finally, an interesting new set piece. It is nothing big, but at least it is something. Your mission here is to pass the Claymore field without sending yourself to Borealis too early. It is fairly easy because the distance between the Claymores is fairly long, damn it, to let you pass.
Ceasefire! Ceasefire! They're human. Well, look who we got here, boys. A Black Ops and a Marine. Hoorah! Let me introduce myself, son. I'm Colonel Q, but you can call me Sir.
Colonel, I met some of your men, Nick and Brad, at the hospital. They said you have a plan to get out of the city?
That's right. We do have a plan. We'll run away.
Where can we run away? Those aliens are everywhere.
That's where you're wrong, kiddo. This picture came from our contact, Captain Roosevelt. It was taken in California. They're in the air and on the ground.
Not on the sea.
Correct.
What? I'm sorry, what? Are you trying to tell me that your plan to hide from the intergalactic cosmic combined super empire is to float in the middle of the ocean? What about the scanners? What about the combined airships, orbital stations, satellite scanning? No? What about the need for nutrition, water, food? No? Okay, no problem then.
But there's no sea in New Mexico.
Well, that's why we're going to California. But first we need this goddamn train to move. Someone has got to get past those zombies, get in the control room, and activate the train. Any volunteers? That's real brave of you, Larry. Your country's proud of you.
Hello? Me? I did not volunteer, sir.
If your mother was alive, she'd be proud of you, son.
My mother's dead?
You might die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Did he just make this Shrek reference?
Do your Marine thing! God damn it! Didn't your mom ever tell you not to touch people? Y'all motherfuckers need Jesus.
Are you alright, Colonel? Why do you keep saying it? Okay, I'm going.
Do your Marine thing.
Will you shut up already?
Ooh, don't touch me there.
Do your Marine thing.
Don't touch me.
What the fuck is wrong with all of you guys? Okay, there are only a few zombies. Reactivating the train should be easy, and it was.
Stop it.
Shut the fuck up, Larry! Oh, hi Nick.
Colonel, welcome to Station 8.
Colonel, you need to see this. It's the president.
Oh no, I know you've been waiting for this. For those of you who are familiar with the content of Keemstar, I myself am not particularly familiar with Keemstar's content because I was not watching English language content on YouTube at the time he was especially popular, so I have neither many jokes on the topic nor many things to say in general. But people seem to be very obsessed over the fact that he voices the US president. Just a tip from a Ukrainian. A few years ago we also laughed at a particular person playing a president. Nobody is laughing now.
My fellow Americans, as your President and Commander-in-Chief, it is with a heavy heart that I'm informing you that we have made a strategic decision to surrender to the alien invaders known as the Combine. Right now, this is the best chance for our survival as Americans and as humans. This has been the hardest decision of my life, and I did not do so lightly. As Americans, and indeed as human citizens, we have never willingly surrendered to oppression. And this very idea is anathema to our core values and everything we hold dear. Yet, the fact and hard truth remains that we lost this battle for now. And believe me, we will live to fight another day. We shall return. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
I never voted for this guy.
I guess you don't understand the situation, my friend. We're all dead men walking.
Those things. The only thing we know for sure is those things are smarter than we thought. Think about it. The first hour they come through the portals, but not just random locations. First those motherships targeted the military bases. So they cut all the firepower we had. Then they released the grunts to the populated areas, cities. It's like they know the way we are. They know our weaknesses.
Those creatures can be many things, but they're not stupid.
Do you know something we don't, Black Ops?
Well, I guess I do.
Well, maybe you should open your mouth and start talking.
The aliens are coming. We've been compromised.
Spit it out, Corporal.
Oh, Colonel. We are so fucked.
Oh yeah, that was Pyrocynical. Honestly, I feel like I'm missing out on a lot of enjoyment that I potentially could have gotten from the game, because all the YouTuber guest stars are creators whose content generally does not interest me. I mean, they even got Michael Green to voice act for Colonel Q. Michael Green from the Angry Grandpa Show. So many treasures in one game, and I cannot fully appreciate any of them. Never mind, let's proceed. One of my favorite segments of the game is coming.
Everybody take possession. Mitchell, you gotta get that door open in 15 minutes. Move, move, move!
Talking about smart aliens, these guys are stupid as fuck. I wonder how they even managed to conquer the Earth. They kind of just run up the stairs one by one and get shot infinitely. We could sit here for the whole eternity and the game would continue because Combines barely could make a single step before getting shot. But the only way to progress is to destroy these conveniently out-of-place crates and rotate the valve. It's not like so far Berkan Denizarian has not been rotating valve on his dick. Crawl under the gate, open it completely from the other side and keep going together with your military friends. Don't worry, one of them decided to stay behind, so the whole Combine army will be preoccupied with trying to eliminate him first. Don't worry for him as well, he's immortal. Have you been feeling down recently? Do you think that your life is too linear and straightforward? Have you been wondering why there are no instant time skips in real life? Don't worry, another fade to black in Hunt Down the Freeman got you covered. This one teleports us to the train station that… oh my god! I'm sorry, what the fuck is this? Who the fuck is responsible for this? Like, I'm not complaining, I play this game for the moments like this one, but it is still perhaps the worst map of Hunt Down the Freeman, at least of yet. Like, this is just horrible. Guys, I have Google Photos. I had Google Photos in 2018, so you should have had them too. I know how the Albuquerque train station looks. It looks beautiful. And what in the name of Breen is this? A giant symmetrical dome with the roof made out of cheap aluminum. You can find these kinds of roofs in the countryside. They use it to cover barns and depots. What is this fog? There was no fog before and suddenly there is. Where is the train station entrance? Where do you buy tickets? Why is the railroad ending in the fucking Albuquerque, New Mexico, not far from the middle of the US? Why would the railroad end here?
Who is responsible for this mess?
Excuse me for that one. I thought I could no longer be surprised by the game, but even seeing this misery before, I still cannot understand how they could create something this bad. Oh, who cares? Let's just wait until our train arrives and leave this wicked location. God, I'm glad I'm playing on easy difficulty, or trying to find the train among the hordes of enemies would kill me in every possible meaning. Okay, at least that segment is over, and the worst part is already behind. So, apparently, this is how New Mexico looks. Well, it is a step away from the landscapes of Half-Life 1. Step into the endless abyss of Source 1 flatgrass maps of 2006. I mean, this is just beautiful. You simply cannot go further than this. The map cannot be ugly if there is no map whatsoever. This segment was the first thing I remembered when witnessing beautiful landscapes of Metro Exodus from the train. Honestly, after what I have seen just now, the teleporting out of nowhere minigun was not even that impressive. However, despite acquiring the minigun, I still have not seen any enemies. This writing is starting to seriously concern me. So, apparently, I got a bug that disables the AI on this specific segment. Took me some time to search the web, but kind people helped. To fix it, you just have to type in the console svcheats1, then AI no rebuild graph 1 and finish with a good old AI resume. Then load the game and voila! It works once again. Interestingly, this bug was not present in Hunt Down the Freeman 1.0, the most buggy version of them all. Suddenly, a gunship shows out of the mist. You have guessed it right. The next segment completely consists of Mitchell wielding a minigun and shooting down the attacking gunships. And if you think it is boring, well yeah, they have obviously aimed for the feel of those directed epic video game segments where you just press one button and enjoy the dynamic set piece the developers created for you. I could even argue that one of such segments was the airboat segment from Half-Life 2. Here, you just quickly get tired of the monotonous destruction of the same type of enemy. On the other hand, the whole absurdity of the situation does not allow me to hate this game. You, Sergeant Mitchell, use a minigun that was teleported to you from another dimension to shoot dozens of enemy gunships while standing on a rooftop of a train that rides through the fucking GM flatgrass. And all of this is accompanied by a decent rock track and soldiers repeatedly shouting. This is perhaps my favorite Hunt Down the Freeman section. This is the train minigun section that I have promised you before. And what is the funniest part? It only ends when you lose all of your railway carriages. The game practically makes you lose, and the better you play, the longer is your suffering. God, I wish Hunt Down the Freeman 2 was a thing.
Welcome to Nevada, boys.
Oh, I see you were using the 53 bucks Trust Gaming GTX 232 Mantis streaming PC gaming microphone as I do. His voice just contrasts with the rest of the characters so much.
Where's the rest of you?
They're dead. All of them. Combine got them.
Colonel Q?
Dead.
Shit. He was always a tough bastard.
Toughest son of a bitch I ever knew.
I'm Lieutenant Harvey, and these are my men, 5th Ranger Company.
Sergeant Mitchell. Adam, Nick.
Alright, Sergeant. We got 6 hours to make it to the beach. The roads to California will take a few hours, then we're gonna stop by the warehouse to get some supplies, and people too if we can. We're expecting some heavy combat with Combine on the way. You guys take this one. One of you get up on the gun and follow us. Rangers, lead the way!
Then check this out.
Hey, wait! I need that med kit, buddy.
Guys, I must warn you in advance. So far, I've been starting all of my videos with a meme, with a funny video, with a joke, Peter Griffin singing the Hunt Down the Freeman theme, it's gamer time copypasta, but not this time. This part of the review is where the things get real. I was complimentary towards the game and the developers so far, acknowledging it is very bad, but still enjoying the clumsiness it had until they don't cross the line. Well, this is where they did cross the line. I have endured 2 hours of pure psychological torment, and I intend to spill it all out. What's poppin', gamers? AdSky here. The last time we left on a moment where our characters arrive under the command of Lieutenant Harvey and together they aim at reaching California. Yeah, if you forgot, the Combines are...
They're in the air and on the ground.
Not on the sea.
So our brilliant plan here is to get into the ocean and spend the rest of our lives living on a ship, eating radioactive fish, drinking clean ocean water, and distilling fuel for the ship from the fish oil. Sounds like a good plan. So far, everything is going well. To get some rest after the mind-blowing action of the train minigun section, we are given a military APC and ordered to follow the truck full of rangers. I don't have any specific criticism to this part. Yes, it is unengaging, not interesting, and even nothing to laugh at. Yes, the gameplay is just a sleep-inducing shooting range where you instantly kill your enemies and cannot even die. Yes, I have tried pushing the rangers off the cliff, and it did not even work. However, the enemies are quite weak, so the battles don't take too much time and can at least give you the same primitive fun you have when shooting spawned NPCs in Garry's mod. Honestly, if I knew what was going to happen next, I would spend more time here, mentally preparing. The map is linear, you cannot get lost, and the enemies die quickly, so the level design does not reassure me that humanity was a mistake that needs to be fixed. I only wish we could push the truck off the road, but nothing even remotely good is going to last forever. As we move to the next map, the road before us is blocked by the headcrab capsules, for some reason not containing any headcrabs themselves. At the same time, we get a transmission from an unknown source asking for help.
Copy. We're stuck in the factory. We need help ASAP.
You guys handle those. I'll go check the factory.
Let's find out who is on the factory. Do you remember how in Half-Life the developers created every room and building with a purpose, masterfully placing various items, bonuses and Easter eggs, encouraging the player to explore? Yeah, me neither. Playing Hunt Down the Freeman feels like a lifetime experience, and the memories of my life before the incident are slowly fading away. Who am I even writing for? What was so special about this game? Why am I doing this? I think I was supposed to post it to my what was my name? Why am I speaking English? Англійська ж навіть не моя рідна. Щось про what's poppin' gamers AdSky here. AdSky, YouTube name. It's for my Hunt Down the Freeman review. Sorry, got distracted for a second. Let's continue. So, unlike the actual Half-Life, Hunt Down the Freeman developers create the environment with a specific purpose of discouraging you from exploring. For 3 minutes I've been looking through this gas station to find at least anything, yet it is meaningless. There was absolutely nothing even potentially useful there. Yes, I agree that from a realistic standpoint it would be weird for Mitchell to find ammo or medkits in the restaurant, but we are playing a video game, and from a game design standpoint it is a bad idea. The looks of these buildings, how they are lit and how easily accessible they are, signify that the player needs to go there. At least that is how this works in other video games, but the level designers only ever acknowledge this concept by dropping red flares to signify where you need to go. Other times they just use the lighting randomly, and for some reason usually catastrophically incorrectly. Venturing forth to the factory, I was dazzled by the huge environment I was presented with. Player movement in this location is barely restricted, so you cannot be sure where to go. And let me tell you again why the level designers of Hunt Down the Freeman are completely incompetent in their job. Here I see a well-lit way, perceiving it as a right direction. Thereby I completely skip this unremarkable passage, not even sure whether it is possible to go there. I enter and everything is lit even better here. Weirdly, a giant obelisk right in the middle of a factory. Gotta culturally educate those filthy blue colors somehow. The facilities are well lit and welcoming to the player. As you may have already guessed from my sarcastic speech, no, this is not where you're supposed to go. The light sources always lie. Though you're welcome to spend 3 more minutes here, wandering aimlessly, seeking the truth that was never here in the first place. Just like reading Karl Marx. Yes, the foreshadowing I did before. That unremarkable passage was where I was supposed to go. No, wait, that another unremarkable door in the unremarkable passage is where I was supposed to go. Notice how there is absolutely no light in here. Oh, Hunt Down the Freeman, never change. Anyway, the factory itself. Immediately we find the factory workers locked inside the room, as it will be explained later. The game models are not cheap, I understand. So Hunt Down the Freeman just reuses the fireman model we have not seen since the hospital. I could boast about it being a cheap move and the game not taking my immersion seriously, but believe me, I will have my fair share of hating the game in this video. Instead, I propose to look at the situation as a reference to my favorite section of the game and the most hilarious moment in the video game history.
Hey! Wait! I need that medkit, buddy! I need that! Come back here!
Honestly, only one man on the whole factory seems to have a blue collar.
Have you lost your fucking mind? Lower that thing! You're gonna blow us all up!
Jesus, man! Calm down.
Don't fucking tell me to calm down. There's a gas leak that can blow half of us all the way to hell with a fucking match. Half the guys on the planet are stuck inside, and the other half became brain-fucked zombies because they got a big-ass spider with a huge vagina stuck on their head.
Yeah, Birkin, your script could not have left out the phrase spider with a huge vagina. However, weren't it the moments like these that inspire me to continue creating content about this wonderful game? Game? Yeah, I think it qualifies as the game, technically.
And you expect me to be calm?
Okay, you're right. Now help me out here, alright? Tell me, how do we get them out?
There's 2 ways to get them out of there. The first is getting the generators on, so that we get the power back on to open the doors.
Okay. What's the second way? The second way?
I forgot, okay? I'm under pressure here, give me a fucking break.
First way then.
Wait, so what the fuck was the second way? Don't get me wrong, I honestly and sincerely want to know what was the second way of rescuing his colleagues. I mean, there must be a reason why he had mentioned it. At first I was thinking that it could potentially be related to developers planning the second way of completing this piece. Okay, But that makes no sense either way. If they have created the cutscenes before the levels themselves, which I have a sneaking suspicion of, then why would he not hint us what was it supposed to be? If it was animated after the levels were finished, why did he even have to mention it? Is there an actual second way that the game does not mention and we have to find ourselves? I'm 90% sure that it is not the case. But why was this piece of dialogue even mentioned? Chekhov's rifle is a dramatic principle that states that every element in a story must be necessary and irrelevant elements should be removed. It uses the metaphor of a rifle that, if mentioned in a story, must inevitably go off at some point of it. And the second way is the biggest Chekhov's gun you could ever imagine, yet it never ever fires. And it is not even that this second way was only mentioned briefly, the writers made a huge emphasis on it, seemingly on purpose.
There's two ways to get them out of there.
What's the second way? The second way? First way then.
Why did they do this? Why am I even doing this fucking review?
Remember, no weapons. Here, take this.
A wrench? Why a wrench?
Because I only got one crowbar, and I have no intention to give it away.
Well, I got bad memories with crowbars anyways. Mitchell, by the way.
Joe, but everyone calls me Boston Joe.
Alright, Joe. Let's save your friends from spiders with vaginas.
And this is a professional voice actor.
Wait a minute. I thought you said no weapons.
So we can use weapons. And he doesn't even use a crowbar.
Really?
Why did you put the Chekhov's rifle of everything exploding if we... What am I doing here? Why am I playing this? What am I playing? Please, please stop! Let me out! Let me go, please! Boston Joe is no longer with us, and we have to make our way to the rest of the military alone. Immediately, we can hear the sounds of combat and find our brothers in arms being attacked by the... In the previous video, I called them manhacks, but actually these are exploding manhacks. I am extremely sorry for that. It seriously compromised my reputation as a professional Hunt Down the Freemanologist, and I will do my best to restore the lost trust between us. But who wasn't doing their best were the level designers. I spent a lot of time I could have invested into playing a better game into this location, and you will stay here and listen to me complaining, reasoning why it is so bad. It doesn't look as dire at first. We pass by Lieutenant Harvey and enter the hole in a wall into a hangar. The hole is then blocked by fire, so it must have been the right way. A few supplies in this room, seems like we're going into a serious battle. Okay, what's next? Exiting the hangar leads me into an open area where dozens of alien soldiers immediately start spawning. Okay, no problem, but what if it was just like that time when I tried fighting alien soldiers while the actual way to go was on the completely another side? Can the fire let me through the wall back to Harvey? No, it cannot. Not wishing to actually lose my health, I decided to load. Remember kids, always quick save every 10 seconds, do not repeat my mistakes. Okay, Lieutenant Harvey, wall of fire, the loot room, the hangar is closed, the hangar is closed? What the fuck? Is this a bug? Or was the time it was open a bug, and it was not supposed to be open? I don't know. Hunt Down the Freeman, you bastard. I thought I already understood you, but I thought of myself as of the master, yet I was but an apprentice all along. Oh, here is another way. Seems like it was a bug before after all. This passage leads me to the rooftop, where I was given quite a lot of weapons. An AVP, Molotov cocktails, grenades, even an M60 here. Wow, what a fun piece of gameplay! But still, where do I need to go? The game prevents me from jumping from the roof with invisible walls. So I'm kinda stuck. Where am I supposed to go? No, they could not have. But all their design choices point to it. 2 sniper rifles, a bunch of grenades, Molotov cocktails. No. They cannot expect me to kill all zombies. But these are Hunt Down the Freeman developers. And these design choices could not have been implemented without a reason. If they left so many weapons, it must mean I have to use it. What? This did not work. They lied to me. Birkin, damn it! You've tricked me once again. What if this wasn't a bug after all? What if I try no clipping? What the fuck should I do? I won't lie, this is the point where I got frustrated a lot. I was feeling like the solution was extremely easy, yet I could not find it whatsoever. Maybe there was no path ahead. Maybe the game once again bugged and the easiest way was to simply open the next map. It didn't help whatsoever that the bollocksed full Hunt Down the Freeman playthrough had this segment absolutely different. Having a fucking APC right by the entrance to the factory. What is wrong with this game? I had to take a break. That night I went to bed to have an enjoyable, relaxing sleep, and already at 12 AM I was watching a dream about returning to school. Psych! I took my phone into bed and watched another full Hunt Down the Freeman playthrough. Guess what? The guy had no APC near the entrance as well. Watch closely, as I'm about to show you how you should actually complete this level. Step 1. Run towards the... Oh wait, for some reason every time I start up the game, AI disables again. Give me a second. Step 1. Run towards the hangar. Look, this time even Lieutenant Harvey got inside. Step 2. Exit the hangar and trigger the spawning of alien soldiers. Step 2.5. Kill all aliens. Step 3. Run! Congratulations, the boys are already here. You have successfully beaten the horrible factory map. I have successfully beaten the factory map. You thought to break me, you Birkin son of a bitch. I will break you. I will finish this 4-hour-long Hunt Down the Freeman review series, and you won't be able to stop me. Next stop, a pier, an invisible wall, low rendering distance, Russian containers in California. Oh, hell nah! A few stalkers here and there, maybe not a few, maybe a lot, maybe even too much. Just remember to save after killing them. A lighthouse. The only logical way would be to climb it, even though previously following the common logic in Hunt Down the Freeman only led to my psychological breakdown. This time I was right. And on the lighthouse, look carefully, the details are very important here. To pass this segment, you just stand there and wait. When you reach the ground, the indestructible gunship keeps following. Wouldn't have been a problem if not for the stalkers, scanners and manhacks all around the pier. Oh, look, a water gun. Hey bro, can you help? I hate these fucking scanners. A flare. Seems like that is where I should go. But for some reason I decided not to go into the obvious passage, preferring to use the parkour system. You need to assign the button in your options to even be able to use it. Yes, they have not even assigned a default key to it. Nobody cared about this mechanic. Even I don't care enough to tell you how using it soft-locked me. Progressing to the next location, What are these? I mean, why does this platform have 4 cars on its legs? Are they supposed to transport this massive structure somewhere? Where would you transport it? No road in the world would allow 4 cars to transport something like this anywhere. I don't get it. Is this an actual something that exists and is being used in real life? I didn't even notice the thing when playing, only now. I have 10 more minutes of tedious gameplay where I do not understand where to go, but do you really need it? The video is too long already and I should honestly delete some of my angry rambling about the questionable level design. I mean, we're here not for that, but for an engaging plot, extremely awkward dialogues and unintentionally hilarious design choices. And that is what we get by the end of the PR level.
Do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for by this some have entertained angels without knowing it. Hebrews 13:2. Welcome aboard, gentlemen. I am Captain Roosevelt. Tell me, who is in charge of all these warriors? Please step up. Your name, young man?
I'm Sergeant.
I have no interest in your rank. Your name. Who are you?
I like Captain
Roosevelt.
So far, he's an interesting character. Would be a shame if something happened to him, as it had been happening to practically every good character in the game so far.
Mitchell.
Mitchell, huh? Yes, Mitchell. A name with many meanings. For some, the meaning is a gift from God. For others, who is like God. Which one are you, Mitchell? Are you a gift from God sent to save us? Or perhaps you are God himself, come to doom our worthless lives?
Perhaps.
He's gay! Cursed! I actually started laughing when recording the footage. Why, of all people, Nick is the superstitious here? I felt like he was a rational one so far.
Cursed, eh? What kind of curse is this?
Nothing but some bullshit.
Whoever is at the top of his command dies. Colonel Q, Sergeant Harvey, they're all dead. But whatever happens, he lives.
First of all, this makes absolutely no sense. I mean, even if we forget the fact that the aliens have invaded the Earth and are ruthlessly slaughtering any human forces opposing them, so it is quite natural to die here. Even if we forget that, both Colonel Q and Sergeant Harvey were his superiors as well. Why is he trying to put the blame on Mitchell if nobody even accused them of anything like that? Secondly, Sergeant Harvey. I certainly remember. No, I have footage. It was...
I'm Lieutenant Harvey.
I understand how I could fuck that up, but damn it, Burkan, it was your passion project since 2016, and you allow stupid mistakes like that? At this point of the game, I'm not surprised whatsoever.
It's just a coincidence. There's no such thing as a curse.
We'll see about that, Sergeant.
Interesting how angry Captain Roosevelt gets after hearing about the curse. Does the whole US Army consist of superstitious morons?
You and your men from now on are under my command. Welcome to Avalon Vale, and welcome to the crew.
Reinforcing my belief that the cutscenes were animated before the levels were completed, it immediately cuts into a forced gameplay segment where we awkwardly defend the ship from the Combines. Well, why are they flying like that? Oh, I disabled again. But it was so glorious, I decided to watch it a bit longer. I'll spare you the details and tell that we fought a wave of explosive manhacks, a wave of explosive manhacks, a wave of water guns, a wave of explosive manhacks, and a wave of water guns. Trust me, you've missed nothing.
That's not a curse. You made a deal with the devil. Here, you have it.
I think if he was able to talk with an injury like that, he still could recover. His body even looks not like if there was an explosion, but as if he was sliced into two with a giant sword. Rest in peace, Captain.
Roosevelt.
You will be forgotten.
Well, it looks like you're the captain now. Captain Mitchell.
It's been 3 years since the 7-Hour War. There are no more countries, only territories where they once were. All the governments having been replaced.
After that, Captain Mitchell retells Half-Life 2 lore for more than a minute. It doesn't sound like a long time, but then you listen to it yourself and it certainly feels so. The only important line here is:
the Combine Overwatch was an impressive force to be reckoned with, but an exploit was found. They had immense power over the air, and even more on land, but they lacked naval capabilities due to their overall goal of draining that resource. Until that happened, we needed a way to defend our ship from their air superiority, and for that, we needed to go to City 9, otherwise known as New Alaska.
And you might be asking me now, AdSky, what is the point of continuing? You've already demonstrated that the game sucks. Move on, make a New Vegas funny haha video about slaughtering the NCR. Do the randomizer part 2. Oh dear naive viewer. I'm sorry to tell you, but you haven't seen what I saw. This moment, this doc, it is only the beginning. What if I told you that this is the moment where the developers officially stop trying? Yes, it gets worse. It's time to play RimWorld. It's time to return to Hunt Down the Freeman.
The Combine Overwatch was an impressive force to be reckoned with, but an exploit was found. They had immense power over the air, and even more on land, but they lacked naval capabilities due to their overall goal of draining that resource. Until that happened, we needed a way to defend our ship from their air superiority, and for that, we needed to go to City 9, otherwise known as New Alaska.
I won't lie, I would prefer Mr. Mitchell tell us more about what he's expecting to find in New Alaska and how had he found about it after 3 years. Nothing is told about what happened to the characters during that time. It is not even clear where they got their food, drinkable water, uniforms, weapons and fuel for the ship. Of course, I joked about them distilling the fish oil into fuel, but seriously, you cannot just ignore plot holes like that, Birkin. You are writing a game that is going to be sold for money and is a spin-off to a popular Half-Life franchise, so your world building needs to be at least a bit consistent. That is not talking about the other. so begins the new chapter of this wonderful story. In some snowy shithole in the middle of nowhere, Mitchell doesn't even seem to know where he's going when suddenly... Using a flare from my inventory, I quickly course through the ice cave and find an exit. Act 2, Chapter 1. Deal with the devil. It is the first time a name of an act has been shown on screen. I mean, the name Deal with the Devil doesn't even fit because the first encounter with G-Man happened hours ago, and the next one is not happening until the next chapter. But I guess it sounded cool, so alright. A barn or a garage in the middle of nowhere contained a sniper rifle and a medkit that Mitchell immediately takes. I wonder what it could have been used for, but at the same time I would want to know why it is built in such a weird way to block the road. Perhaps this is the wall that Canadians built on the border to prevent Alaskans from illegally crossing the border. Ah, perfect. Antlions. The scope's zoom is just too much to be able to shoot them on close or mid-range. The machete which Mitchell now possesses as most likely a reference to the Hunt Down the Freeman 2016 demo is just as bad as it always has been. The weapon is, I presume, just a reskin crowbar from the original Half-Life 2, because, for example, on this frame it does not hit the antlion, even though Mitchell obviously did an up-to-down swing that should have been accurate. All because the crowbar hits specifically into the place your crosshair looks at, while I aimed a little higher. The machete simply does not function as a proper machete would, thus being non-intuitive and creating a dissonance in the player. In addition, it is much slower compared to the crowbar. The antlions are actually quite annoying, spawning every few seconds and harassing me, while I only have a limited amount of sniper ammo and a god-awful melee weapon. I just want to pass, for fuck's sake. But the gate to the next level is currently shut. Mitchell needs to find a way to open the gate to progress. On the topic of map design, I won't even complain about how horrible the snow texture is. I know it's not a AAA game, but god, this is literally 1984. I mean 1998 Half-Life Canyon textures quality. Okay, I actually started complaining about that, but that's not even the worst. Look at these ugly lines throughout the map. It is like a horrible Frankenstein monster with its separate body parts being sewn together, leaving these horrible stitches. My guess is that it is a problem with textures not colliding properly. Can you imagine? This game was approved by Valve and sold on Steam for $25. And now we finally entered the interesting part. For the first time in our playthrough, the game gave me an obstacle that had to be overcome using the official Hunt Down the Freeman parkour system trademark. And now we exit the interesting part, because for some unknown reason the feature of holstering weapons doesn't work. I tried different things, changing the assigned button, holstering when different weapons equipped, relaunching the game, nothing worked. Oh no, look, it actually works! I climbed so fast! Wow! On top I found a garage containing an energy orb and a button. After stumbling around the place for some time, I finally found the way to activate the button and pressed it. The most logical guess was that it opened the gates that were locked before, and thank God, this time I was right. Oh, but we are still far from the end.
I've got you in my sights.
The next big section of New Alaska is concentrated around running through the combine snipers. It might sound weird, but to some extent it is even enjoyable. There is a certain challenge, you are given obstacles on your way to hide from the shots, and the snipers themselves are not that accurate. Okay, maybe a bit more accurate than I initially thought, but still. Fine, they're fairly accurate, but that doesn't mean dodging their shots is difficult. The trick is to find the rhythm and stop moving whenever they're about to shoot. Finally, I managed to reach the next... Finally, I was able to reach the next gate, or rather a wall with a breach in it. By the way, I am taking back everything positive I said about their aim. These guys totally suck at shooting. Oh, come on! Turns out, this breach was exactly where I was supposed to go using the climbing feature presumably, which, as you know, didn't work. I mean, yes, it totally works fine, look at that. Oh, that's something new. A sniper drone launched in a capsule. I unironically think it is a great idea. We haven't seen anything like it in the Half-Life universe so far, and it is the first thing that Hunt Down the Freeman developers added to the gameplay themselves. Except the parkour system, of course, but it is too bad to list it as an achievement. Running from the crazy drone trying to snipe me, I chose the path to the left, not even noticing I could go right at that point. And indeed, on the left I found something, a train wreck covered by snow. Inside there was a medkit and some ammo. Sweet, I thought at the time. But where now? I can't go up because the shit blizzard is going to kill me there, so maybe to the right? No? And that is the main problem with the New Alaska chapter. The Arctic is west, and there often are no indicators where you should go, because the whole map is open to you. However, when you try to go where you should not, the blizzard immediately starts killing you. Eventually, using trial and error, I figured out I most likely need to go back. And indeed, I was supposed to go right after all. Oh, but the next segment is not going to be pleasant either, because the developer, who so far was doing fairly okay by the Hunt Down the Freeman standards, throws a motherfucking sniper drone right into my face, blocking the path I need to go to progress. And if you think you can just run through it, no, you cannot. Okay, fuck that. Yo, what the fuck? At last, Mitchell reached the Combine outpost. Combine soldiers are running around and the atmosphere is grim. Royal Reduced Entertainment even re-recorded Combine voices. And they don't sound so bad. Being able to one-shoot them with his sniper rifle, Mitchell mows down his enemies at a rate even Gordon Freeman could not achieve. Frankly, this may be the first classical battle encounter that you may even enjoy. Yeah, the game was horrible prior to now, but most of the Arctic plays like an average Half-Life 2 mode from ModDB. I don't really like how they have changed the AR2, because now it is far less accurate compared to how it had been in Half-Life 2 before. Other than that, this was the first time my fun in Hunt Down the Freeman was not ironic. But you know what? Fuck that. Fuck having fun. I'm having fun only in my dreams. Fuck the Arctic, the in-game Arctic, and fuck the real Arctic too. No one likes you, cold piece of shit. And fuck the game for giving me a moment to enjoy myself before sending me into the worst stealth segment in video games imaginable. Meet scanners. Scanners patrol the ground with their lights for any intruders. If you are an intruder, and you are, the scanner will notice you and annihilate your body to atoms. You cannot run away, you cannot hide, and their moving pattern is completely random. And where am I even supposed to go? Here is a broken scanner, which I interpreted as a safe spot to move further. Damn me, still unable to digest that there are no interpretations in Hunt Down the Freeman. The game does what it wants, it doesn't bother with guiding you through it. So yes, after 5 minutes of mindlessly bashing my head at the wall, I found out that I was supposed to go the other way.
The second way?
Let's at least go through this segment without cheating. Oh, go fuck yourself, game. Upon reaching the base and running around for some time, being unable to find where to go next, I finally entered the hatchet in the ceiling and went. The ventilation leads me into a living room. Must be terribly cold in here with that hatchet open. Yet, who would live in such a place? Damn, Mitchell surely had not prepared properly for his journey into the coldest place on Earth. He looks more like a cowboy here.
A minute, please. I'll be right with you. Go to your room, honey. Daddy has a guest. I would assume you've come here to assassinate me. But your outfit... it doesn't look like someone who would like to sit in my chair.
Exactly, this guy gets it.
I do apologize for my rudeness. My name is Boris. I am the administrator of this fine factory.
Look, I don't want to kill you. Not in front of your daughter. I'm just here for the weapons.
Weapons? Mister, do you have any idea what we produce in this factory?
Not weapons?
Not weapons.
Yeah, this is the first time we even hear Mitchell's plan when coming here, but it doesn't seem like he knew it himself.
What are those things?
Those things are called cremators. You could say they are, in a way, extremely efficient and overzealous janitors. The Combine are planning to spread them throughout the rest of the world. Get rid of the refuse, the detritus, the trash. Keep the streets clean. But in this case, we are the trash.
Yeah, you'll never get to meet these guys in the game.
Are those children?
Yes. This is how they control all the new generations. The Combine raises them as slaves, forcing any child older than the age of 5 to start to work.
What about those younger than 5?
There are none.
Wait, so let me do the math here. There are no children younger than 5 on Earth anymore. It had been 3 years since Combines won the 7-hour war and installed the suppression field. Hold on, we're getting there. 5 minus 3 equals 2. So what happened to the children who were younger than 2 when the Earth was conquered? Did Combines just massively thrash millions of toddlers in a giant meat grinder? I mean, it would make sense if Boris said there are none. 5 years after the suppression field was installed, but the current dialogue leaves me wondering, what happened to the children? Another mystery on par with what was the second way?
The second way? How many are there in this factory?
About 100. I know what you think, and I have the same feelings. It disgusts me, but I have to work for them. For my daughter. That's the only way.
I don't think that's disgusting at all.
Excuse me.
Think about it. Wasn't the main reason we were trying to go to space for decades for the resources? If we had the power to enslave them, wouldn't we? Hell, we enslave our own kind. We couldn't care less about an alien race. That's just nature playing out its own game. It's always been between predator and prey. That's the balance. But this time, the tables are turned.
The hunter has become the hunter-ed. The chaser has become the chost. Dame Fortuna has had her franking privileges revoked. It seems the portrait has painted the artist, sketching the reverser, who has become the reverset. But this time, the suffixed will become the sufferer. And it appears the baby killer is about to kill a baby.
His words are not devoid of meaning in a more broad sense, but philosophizing about how the occupation by combined forces is okay, because it is just a nature's way and humans would do the same, is not something a war veteran who lost his comrades, friends and the whole damn planet would do. It is just completely out of character. You see, Anya, the Nazi order are not a horrible crime against humanity. It is only the order of life. If the circumstances were different, we would be the ones genociding Germans and establishing the great American rule. God, I wish the new Wolfenstein franchise wasn't on the verge of death.
They got to us before we got to them, pulling our resources, draining the oceans, enslaving humans. Enjoy your time while you can, Boris, because sooner or later humans will rise up and put a stop to this. But this time round, humans won't even last 7 hours. They won't stop with the military. They will come for all of us, even for you and your daughter.
You are a wise man indeed. Even though I do not share the same feelings as you, I have to agree that, with what you say, you are correct. We just may be closer to the end sooner than we think. But there's a difference between you and me. Until that day, I will not give up on humanity.
You're a good man, Boris. Now get out of here. Take your daughter and leave.
What do you have in mind?
I'm gonna burn the whole factory to the ground and take those kids with me.
You will do this for the children?
Well, I will, but not for the children. I need an army.
Right after you get out of that room, I have to alarm the Combine. You know that, right?
Do what you have to do and leave.
Even if you don't do this for the children, I do appreciate it. And I won't forget that.
Mitchell.
Thank you, Mitchell. We'll meet again.
We will.
And finally, we get at least a bit of redemption for the horrible torture that I had to go through before in this act. A massive shootout against combined forces on a giant factory. A cool rock music is playing on background. My aim is horrible. The sniper rifle one-shots everyone, and progressively, as you are slaughtering the combined forces, the factory suffers more and more damage. But you do not even notice, because that is how smooth it integrates into the scene, where it seems like something that is supposed to happen. Playing on easy difficulty, however, gives its results, and the section is highly unlikely to kill you. More wrecking chaos, that's what I say. By the end, you're even allowed to operate a stationary AR-2 machine gun to finish them off. I might seem overexcited about this section. It is honestly nothing special on a global scale. But unless you have played it yourself, you won't be able to understand how much better it feels to fight combines compared to the god-awful alien zodiac creatures from Act 1. You won't understand how it feels to finally enjoy playing Hunt Down the Freeman, the $25 on release game in the Half-Life universe. Eventually, however, this section ends, and I was not presented with a cutscene that was supposed to play here. Fine, I'll take it from YouTube just this once. Motherfucker, now that's a time skip. I imagine what could happen during that time in our character's life. Oh, he shaved off his Geralt of Albuquerque haircut. That's all.
I just don't understand why it's such an important thing.
The captain needs to see it.
The captain needs to see what?
Was gone, now it's back. A gift for the captain. Do you recognize it?
Oh shit, that cannot be! It is the crowbar that Boston Joe had no intention of giving away 20 years ago on that factory. How could it be?
Where did you find this?
One of our guys, Kane, found this in the middle of the water. He was trying to hide it, but we caught him.
Kane, what the fuck? Why would you hide a simple crowbar you found in the water? And how the hell did the crowbar float on water?
Captain, isn't this...
Everybody get out. Get out! I said get out!
We meet again at last.
You.
Authority, power, and time. We have kept our promise, Mr. Mitchell. We gave you all the treasure you could possibly ask for.
That wasn't treasure, it was a curse! All this power does nothing but kill. Authority only to murder. Nothing but the power to kill my own men. And this time, nothing but endless torture.
Let me recall again, Captain. Whoever it takes, whatever it takes, however long it takes, that was the deal, and now the time has come again. We require your services. We need you to kill Dr. Freeman. If there is someone to blame for all of this, all of the suffering, it's the Freeman himself.
Take it all back. I don't want it. I don't want the power, the authority, not even the time. I just want it to end. Freeman can go to hell.
Wow. Just wow. In a game called Hunt Down the Freeman, where the main character should have been angry at Freeman for leaving him scarred for life, he's just apathetic. Mitchell doesn't want to hunt Freeman. He probably never did. That phrase, it was something an angry dying soldier said impulsively, but what was never a significant goal for him. It kind of makes you think about the topics of forgiveness and redemption, yet there is a narrative problem. It was barely half of the game, and the main character no longer has any motivation to finish his supposed mission. There is no tension. The player, who probably barely could associate himself with Mitchell before, lost the last connection that could possibly drive him forward as this character. The only thing writers can do now is to force Mitchell into hunting Freeman in spite of his will.
Sadly, I have to inform you, it's not that easy. You see, Captain, from now on, our agreement is coming due. We've done our part, and now it's your turn to do yours.
Or else?
Then I have no option but to let you get in a battle that you have no chance of winning. Now, pardon me. I have to take this back to its owner. Do not be late. City 17 awaits.
Alex,
Yes, Captain?
assemble the men.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Was that Pyrocynical again?
Captain, what's going on?
We have to go to City 17.
City 17? But why?
Gordon Freeman is back. Somehow we have to find a way to reach the Combine and convince them to side with us so we can hunt down Freeman together.
Whoa, slow down. Reach the Combine? Gordon Freeman? Captain, are you mad? You hear what you're saying?
I'm well aware of what I'm asking, Nick.
Nick, huh? Damn, the time had not been easy on him. He's bald. Hair loss is not a joke, gentlemen. It affects half of males and quarter of females by the age of 50. Remember to consume vitamins, especially A and D, and washing your head regularly with an appropriate shampoo. Do you think Nick had a chance to get all of his vitamins during these years on the ship? I don't think so either. Wait, what the hell? They actually have food in here?
Mitchell, even if that was true, you know what that means, right? People will die. Are you willing to lose everything we have?
Everything we have? We don't own anything, Nick. We just borrowed it. Even our own lives. We weren't meant to live this long.
Mitchell, I beg you, please don't do this. This is madness. You're gonna get us all killed. We've survived for 20 years on this ship, and every single time we step foot on that land, too many innocent lives are taken. Those kids you took, didn't they have enough? You don't care for any of them, do you? You never did. Just used them. Do what the hell you gotta do. But I'm not gonna be a part of this. God help us.
No. God will stay away from this one.
Nick actually is leaving us? Cannot we expect his support in such difficult times? He was like an OG member of the crew. He was an OG member, in fact. What's going to happen now? Oh, wait, there he is, ready to listen to our epic, inspiring speech.
My men, for more than a decade we fought together. We bled, we took lives, and we lost some dear to us. We did what we had to survive. We knew no sin nor honor. Long ago, I knew this day would come. The day we would have to face a bigger threat. The day we would have to make a choice. Until this day, we have lived our lives freely. But there is a hard truth we must now face. Sooner or later, the Combine will drain the ocean completely, and there will no longer be any place for us to hide anymore. It is time to take action, time to pick a side. When kings fight for their thrones, they sacrifice the ones they deem unworthy. I am not a king, nor royalty. Today I stand with you as one of your own. I ask you, my brothers, to fight with me and show them who we are, what we are capable of, our strength and resolution, our bullets and our blades, our courage and our cruelty. Gentlemen, we are going to City 17.
What's poppin' gamers, AdSky here and welcome to the final part of my complete Hunt Down the Freeman review. I hope you are having fun with the plot, just as I have, because we've already reached Act 3 and this is where the story gets extremely confusing. Without ruining any intrigue, let's proceed and see how Mitchell is planning to infiltrate City 17 according to his plan. The first thing we see after his epic speech from the last part, full Hunt Down the Freeman playlist here, is a green forest, unspoiled by the combines. There is even a train going by. Okay, it is not what I think it is, right? Okay, first try is always a fail, am I right? Let's try again. Happens to anyone, third time is the charm, and they... Okay, so far this is the worst Mitchell's death on this level. Maybe the trick is to... Oh, wait, that worked! Even though I died, the next level loaded faster than the game over screen ended. And here they are. Places so familiar, I could recall them anywhere, anytime. City 17, where Mitchell arrives by hiding between the wagons.
I should probably stay out of trouble.
Sure, Mitchell, this is exactly what I was planning to do. City 17 in Hunt Down the Freeman on the first glance looks like it was in Half-Life 2, but don't get yourself fooled. This is but a whole shell of its former glory. The halls are full of dormant NPCs, where only Metrocops can react to your actions in any way. The citizens are lifeless and won't even talk to you. Environmental storytelling? More like, move along player, there's nothing to see here. Actually, there is one citizen NPC in City 17 that you can and are required to interact with.
Now it's your turn, Will.
Will? There is something shady in here. How does Mitchell even know this Will? Is this a new character whose story we will be at best told one? As the chaos ensues and the Metrocops are busy with investigating the explosion, Mitchell manages to slip by them into the train station. In reality, he would be their first suspect and would be arrested on sight, but it is not a reality, but a fantasy game, and as we all know, fantastic stories do not answer to simple logic. The main square of City 17 looks better and way more alive compared to the train station. Look, here is a dancing Overwatch soldier by the gate. His friend even joins him for a brief moment. I can even accept it as canon, considering how Dr. Breen had his own show on TV with jugglers.
I don't miss Dr. Breen, but I do miss his show. Remember when he had the jugglers on?
I admit, Quake 1 model graphics are difficult for me to explain. I have checked, the ladder that Gordon Freeman used to proceed towards Kleiner's lab is gone. We'll need to find the second way. A fade to black as always, and Mitchell arrives into a yet unexplored part of City 17. It looks slightly less visually appealing to say the least. A metal obscurity stands right by a beautiful old castle. Fucking modernists. A line of citizens stands right by the modernist utilitarian garbage for an unknown crime. Some of them may be facing death, or even worse, but they all look into the future with a stoic expression on their faces. It is not immediately clear where Mitchell needs to go now. His plan was to ally themselves with the Combines and hunt down the Freeman together. Nice plan, but where the hell is he going then? Where the hell should I go? It took me around 10 minutes to run around the neighborhood looking for where I was supposed to go, experimenting with climbing different structures to no result, until I finally decided to look up the walkthrough. here it was, an unnoticeable window. Oh, excuse me, an unnoticeable window with the most bleak red lines possible. But you know what? I'm not even angry. How could I be angry if this is one of a few times they even made an attempt to get your attention, even if the attempt is so pathetic? Even though I have just trespassed the locked gate, Metro cops don't seem to mind that much. I'm more concerned about the scanner that chases me to take infinite amount of photos. Okay, but now, when I walked around the other blocked gate, Combines immediately started firing at me. The only option now is to run. It is almost kind of fun actually, similar to how it was in the beginning of Half-Life 2. I don't get it. Why do they always use the black screen when it is not even required?
Oh my god!
Whoa, what is this? Gary Smart? Why is the guy wielding an error weapon? Was he the only Metro cop with a unique gun that was not even loaded? He's completely harmless, but I wonder what weapon was he supposed to be using. I probably would know if I wasn't playing one of the first versions of Hunt Down the Freeman with barely any patches. Anyway, back to the actual threats. These Metro cops don't seem to be very competent. This one is just casually walking when supposed to be on guard for a trespasser. That one is ready, yet completely unable to stop me from just running past him. The third one was guarding under the ladder, still unable to hit me, even though I didn't see him. The identical thing happened here, yet this time there were two of them and one was AFK. If these are the authoritarian regime forces, no wonder it took rebels a week to completely overthrow them. But finally, one competent man shows up to do his job properly, and Mitchell gets beaten by the stun sticks into submission.
Get your hands off me.
Oh, you think you're so cool, when you can't even hit me on a point-blank range. Apparently, we are now on the 22nd floor of the Citadel. The elite white Combine soldiers roam around, and one of them is leading Mitchell somewhere. What could be the reason he was taken here? Wait, seriously? This is how Mitchell infiltrated the Combine-controlled city? In a leather jacket? Not using any disguise? Am I the only one who sees a problem in that plan? He is disguised as a white rabbit in a burned forest. I'm surprised he was not arrested on sight. I always thought the citizen clothing was mandatory, but seems like every citizen just happened to have a same taste of jeans. Anyway, back to the cutscene.
I knew this day would come. I knew I was going to see this man one more time.
Boris.
Mr. Mitchell.
It's been a long time, old friend.
It has been indeed.
It has been 30 minutes of gameplay since you've last met, excluding the 10 minutes of searching for the window. But yes, for you it has been a long time, those 17 years of which I as a player know nothing. Really makes you feel the weight of living under Combines for half of my life.
Normally, I would ask you to excuse my curiosity and question why you are here. Why you show up after all those years while being far away from the eyes of the Combine. But I already know the answer. I know he sent you. Our mutual friend.
Wait, you know him?
Know him. He offered me a deal, and when I refused to complete his deal, he threatened me with my own daughter. Just be careful, Mitchell. He's a no-good, lying son of a bitch! Excuse my behavior.
The reason I came here was to offer my help. I want to collaborate.
And why do you think the Combine will agree to your help? What could one man possibly give them? Please, do not misunderstand me. I do not underestimate you. I know what you are capable of. But how will you prove that to them?
I'm not alone. I have a ship and an army, and I'm ready to hand over all of it, to be placed under the Combine's command.
That is a rich offer indeed. Please, excuse me for a little while.
Wait, where did he go? He just left the office. Okay, let's just wait for a moment. Yep, there is nothing to do here. Oh, wait.
Dr. Breen. Can't really say I like him.
Yeah, you probably don't. He was your main enemy for the last 20 years, being in charge of the Earth branch of the Combines. Okay, he's back.
Thank you for your patience, Mr. Mitchell. Dr. Breen wanted me to inform you that he, along with our collaborators, is impressed by your desire to hunt down Gordon Freeman. In normal times, this collaboration wouldn't even be mentioned. But these are extraordinary times. You know what they say. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Good. Now all we have to do is find Freeman.
We already know where he is hiding. We have multiple spies in the Resistance. This brings me to another topic. You remember my Sasha, my daughter?
Yeah, I do.
She's grown up now. She's in the Resistance. As a spy, I will make sure that if she sees you, she will recognize you. But when you get out there, massacring members of the Resistance, whatever you do, do not, I repeat, do not harm her, or I will kill you.
Sounds like a deal. Let me ask you something, Boris. You said you have spies inside the Resistance, right?
Correct.
So you do know where Freeman is?
Correct.
Where is he?
Black Mesa East.
Huh. Black Mesa.
And thus, the next section of Hunt Down the Freeman begins. Our troops and Combines are sent together to clear out Black Mesa East and capture Gordon Freeman. If you know the story of Half-Life 2, you can guess that it is not going to be that easy. We are given an MP9, a USP pistol, just like the one Freeman had, and an AK? Fuck, the Combines must have really cut their military budget, because even today AKs are primarily used by children during military lessons in Eastern Europe and by banana republics during low-budget civil wars. Are Combines really that confident?
Hello?
Hey, Pyrocynical, confident in their own strength that they arm their allies with the leftovers. Interesting how they have managed to downgrade the rebel models. In the original Half-Life 2, every rebel was given a face among the dozen available. Here it is just a single male model with his face covered by a scarf. Here is the first serious threat on my way. A rebel with a stationary AR-2 who quickly manages to get rid of my allies. More are already on the way, yet I have noticed that Adam himself is still standing by the entrance. The asshole only imitates doing something, while the real heroes die to the AR-2. Oh, he'll get what he deserves later. Interesting how the new pack of Metro Cops does not get killed. The AR-2 rebel and his two turrets don't seem to even be able to shoot any of them. Truly a worthy successor to the naked gun battle. Okay, I tried as you can see, but the gunner is simply impossible to kill. At the time I thought maybe I just couldn't aim properly due to the recoil, so I decided to move closer with my new best friend. Oh shit, he doesn't seem to work that well. Wait a minute. A ventilation! Oh shit, almost got me there with my 3 HP. Good thing they can't aim underneath themselves. Overall, there isn't that much to talk about the next segment of the game. You run around, shoot rebels, and this could be fun only on the most primitive level. What I should talk about is how much ammo you are given in the process. One rebel drops an MP7 worth of 8 MP9 bullets. What the hell, I checked, these guns have different calibers. This is about the amount you need to kill one. Thus, you will barely have any surplus ammo in Black Mesa East. This will sometimes lead to the moments like this one, where I was only left with the terrible machete to fight with and nearly died because of that. Or that is until you remember you've also had an AK in your inventory. Finally, Black Mesa East ends when Mitchell discovers an elevator and uses it to ascend to the surface. I said finally? Oh no. Black Mesa was great compared to what is coming up right now. Mitchell even refuses to proceed without first attaching a flashlight to his new shotgun. This, gentlemen, is the Ravenholm Forest. You may have thought that the Combines launched the majority of their headcrab capsules into the city itself. Well, I thought so too, until now. However, the amount of zombies you could find in Ravenholm in Half-Life 2 is laughable compared to how many of these fuckers decided to reject modernity and live in the forest. I think they're just respawning to attack you infinitely. So, with a health like that, I decided not to waste my time and nerves and just run. I will admit, it was a bit unnerving to hear the rows of countless zombies behind me while running, but Mitchell's military training allows him to exceed the humanly possible speeds, so no fast zombies were able to catch up with me. Finally, a house. I thought it was a safe place, with all the HP vials and shotgun ammo in here. While that's been technically true, I was wrong about the other thing, that the exit was located on the other side of the house. In fact, it was just an optional place, and I had to leave through that same entrance where those zombies were chasing me, piled up, waiting for me to return. I still managed to run out almost unharmed and only a dozen meters away noticed another house. A woman's scream and a gunshot. I knew I had to investigate, but the result was more confusing than expected. I'll give it to you this time, Hunt Down the Freeman. You got me good with this one. It is hilarious in its absurdity and absurd in its hilarity. As the parkour system still wasn't working, I used noclip to climb the next porch I've encountered. Another scream. The forest seems to be inhabited by women who collectively decided to die as soon as Mitchell arrived. I remind you that Gordon Freeman had only one such in Half-Life 2. More bottles. I'd better take care of them before the incident repeats itself. After running around for a few more minutes and getting lost in the bushes, I have finally encountered the next house I need to enter. I'd love to take a longer look at it, but the horde of 4 fast zombies on my trail does not allow me to. Luckily, they decide to not follow me into the basement. Motherfucker, what is that? Perkin, I just fucking trying to give me a stroke? Either the brown note that would make me shit my pants both physically and rhetorically in regards to a game, or was it supposed to trigger my migraine, so I would never have the desire to return back to finish the review? It is still playing, it's not stopping. Oh god, this house must be really cursed. The sound turned out to be going from a piano on the first floor.
What the fuck? Alright, I admit it. This is a bit creepy.
Yes, I will have to agree with you, Mitch. This is the one sound I'd never want to hear again. The house does not seem to lead anywhere on the first glance. However, using my powerful 200 IQ brain, I remember this moment from my first playthrough and noticed the ring on the ceiling. I just had to pull it. Oh dear, you hear that? Familiar shotgun sounds, aren't they? We are finally entering the actual Raven home. The graveyard. This is where Gordon Freeman and Father Gregory fought the zombies. We are about to meet him, as he could be seen in the trailer. Father Gregory proceeded to not appear in the game. When you finally get tired of shooting zombies, and that had happened around 15 minutes ago for me, you find a hidden passage in a coffin. And inside of a hidden passage, you find your eyes to be bleeding profusely, because the lighting is so fucking bright in there. God damn it. This now looks like shitty cel-shading graphics in the most eye-twisting way possible. It is like every corner of the map is lit equally. There are no shadows or even remotely organic lighting. And what I got as a compensation for that was a bug that made the game completely black. I actually just sat there for 2 good minutes straight, thinking the map was loading. Finally, quick saving and loading helped me to leave the void, and as a compensation for that complete darkness, my eyes were once again hurt by the horrible lighting of a… What is this? I have left the Night Raven home a minute ago, and now I'm in some bright American city ghetto. It doesn't look like Bulgaria or any other Eastern European country. This looks like a Garry's Mod Dark RP map, and the first sign of how confusing the map changes are going to get from now on. Adam is once again just pretending to be doing something. 4 minutes on this map and whoops, another location swap. Now we are entering the Antwine tunnels under the American city. You asshole, how did you manage to reach the car so quickly? I don't have much to say about this segment either. Shooting the Antwines is easy, and you just go over the caves in a quick pace, barely threatened by them. There is barely anything to comment on up until this place. A battle against an Antwine god and the worst place to hide your children in. Seriously, the screams of the maggots being squashed are louder than our battle. The battle itself is quite easy anyway. Dodging its attacks barely takes any effort. Another cliff that I'd have to climb up using the non-functioning parkour system. The apply button was there all along, and I didn't notice it, and made part 4 claiming that it was bugged, while it… Hey, a water cave. Turns out Mitchell's military training does not only help him with the running, but makes him swim with the velocity of a motorboat. He does not even require any air, he could do it for the whole day. Ow, what the hell? What are these sewers? I've heard the combine noises. Are we under a city? While in the sewers, you have to use the parkour system to climb this pipe. Give me the vomitorium! The sewers map ends, and we enter a house in a forest. Okay, no combined rails here, no trains that could make the sound. Instead, this seems to be a rebel hideout. I can even hear them, weird guys they are. But what do we have here? A bike. It seems like we're about to have a wider, broader map, like the highway from Half-Life 2. Let me just take care of these guys first. Even though the motorcycle produces the exact same noises as the buggy, I like it. It is fast, mostly comfortable in using, and only a little too loud. The further road is blocked by a rebel outpost, so we'll need to go under the bridge. Mother of God. Are these… have rebels… Did they hang these combines alive? Did they hang their dead bodies? What? Why? This is so fucking surreal in the Half-Life universe. Back to the bike. Oh yeah, we are right in the trenches, dodging the enemy bullets. This is going to be Half-Life 2 Canals, Forest Boogaloo. Eat dust, suckers! Wait, that's it? I am almost disappointed. It is walking by foot from now on. Only 200 meters away, I was attacked by a giant rebel wave. I slaughtered them all, not just the rebels, but the orange scarves and 8 R2 gunners too. Soon after, I have encountered a big house. Inside were more rebels, whom I gladly helped to cease existing. Do I even need to specify that the lighting is still fucking horrible, and the game now genuinely looks worse than Half-Life 2 beta maps. The most interesting thing I found here was a skeleton trying to climb a stair after a year of lockdown.
Hello there.
Great, another bike. Yet there is still a closed gate on my way. I'd better look for a way to open it. Nice, let's go. Where are you even coming from?
Fall back! Fall back!
Okay, it crashed. I'll have to load the next map manually. Oh, nice! The music from Mitchell's backstory cutscene is playing here again. Sorry, cannot hear you behind the motorcycle roar. Other than the music, this map is nothing interesting to talk about. It is straightforward, contains no enemies and also crashes by the end. No, I've spawned without my bike. I would run all the way properly, but my free time is worth more than that, so I had to accelerate my velocity a little. Nova Prospect, the most secure prison on the planet, capable of holding out against a single man and 3 ant lions. Sadly, Freeman had 4. From here it looks like a StarCraft Protoss building. An unusually chill Overwatch soldier, considering what is currently going on inside Nova Prospect. He doesn't even react to Mitchell, apparently us being a well-recognized ally face among soldiers now. Yeah, these interiors are definitely set in a post-Soviet country, because this is some 70s USSR giantomania shit. Apparently Combines hide the same engineers as the Soviet government did back in the day. Not that the two aren't alike. Large locations meant that it would take me a large amount of time to find where to go next, but there was the elevator to a lower level. After descending, I have noticed that something was definitely wrong. There were no Combine soldiers around, and only the alarm could be heard. Could this be… Aha! Apparently, the teleportation also disintegrated the Combines who were originally present in the room, but not Mitchell. Oh, the wonders of his military training. Okay, the Half-Life 2 location is cool, but I'm about to have a seizure, a migraine and uncontrollable vomiting as a part of the migraine because of this insane shaking. Should have seen me 3 years ago trying to find where to go. Thankfully, this time my repressed subconscious memory led me to the ventilation I was required to enter. It did not help Mitchell though.
Mitchell.
Who is that?
It's me, Sasha.
Sasha.
I'll get you out of here. I unlocked the door, but you have to wait a few minutes. Then start making your way to the monitor room. I'll be there waiting for you.
So, we are in some kind of a prison. I initially thought it was Nova Prospect, which would have been weird if the Combines still had their forces inside.
Oh, what? Yeah, what, bitch? Yeah, I just slapped you and stuff.
What you gonna do?
And Mitchell was their ally. However, he later confirms that it is indeed not Nova Prospect, but some different random prison nearby. Wow, what a coincidence. I'm glad Eastern Europeans apparently built their prisons a few kilometers one from another. Hello. So, furthermore, it is a rebel-controlled prison a few kilometers from Nova Prospect. Wouldn't a prison be a too important strategical point for the Combines to just ignore it? I mean, the Half-Life 2 had a rebel camp right beside Nova Prospect as well, but that was a temporary hideout, set up to secretly scout on the prison, not a big fortified facility. This place is the best way to quickly lose your health, as Mitchell is not given any weapons and the rebels are intentionally or not blocking the path with their bodies. It is a miracle I even managed to survive. Their inaccuracy was the only reason I was left with 3 HP. They, however, cannot climb ladders, so for a minute the game becomes pretty chill.
The legendary captain himself.
Stop it. You're making me blush.
After all those years, I get to see you again.
I have to admit, I'm surprised you even remembered me. You were pretty young back then.
Sure I was, but I have a good memory. I remember everything. And I remember you saving those children. I always saw you as a hero after that day.
Hero? You're talking to a villain, my dear. The hero inside of me died many, many years ago when I was young.
Isn't every villain a hero in their own story?
Not in this one.
If you say so.
Back in Alaska, after the factory, what happened?
Me and my father got out of the factory. We were running away. The explosions were everywhere. The whole place caught fire. My father was carrying me. He was struggling to get us out of there. And we managed to get out, but after that we weren't so lucky. We were walking in the middle of nowhere for days. I could feel my father was afraid and hopeless. The moment we thought we were going to die, help arrived. And that's where it gets all blurry in my mind, the help. It didn't really look like any Combine. There was just a man in a suit.
A man in a suit?
Yes, a man in a suit.
Sasha, are you sure that wasn't your father? He was also wearing a suit that day.
No, it wasn't him. I'm sure it was someone else. A man with a briefcase.
What did the man say, Sasha? What did he say?
He was talking about some kind of deal?
What deal? Sasha, what deal?
I think I remember the deal. He had to help me.
Well...
What about those younger than 5?
What's the second way? The second way?
And now...
What deal? Sasha, what deal?
The unanswered mysteries of the game.
Mitchell, move! Mitchell.
Mitchell? Run!
He's behind you, run, 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 he's behind you. Run, 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 run.
What the hell are you doing?
Keeping my promise.
Adam, open this goddamn door right now.
Do you remember the first time we met?
God damn it, Adam, just shut your damn mouth and open the door. That's an order.
Listen, Mitchell. The whole place is about to blow up.
Adam, please. You don't have to do this for Freeman.
Freeman? Are you really that stupid? This was never about Freeman, Mitchell. This is just part of the deal.
What deal? What the hell are you talking about?
Follow the tunnel, Mitchell. He's waiting for you on the other side.
What? Who are you? No, not you.
That was part of the deal. Go now. It's time.
Yeah, Adam will be fine in here. The rebels are totally not planning to turn him into a piece of whole cheese.
Mr. Mitchell, at last. You've done a great deal in a small time.
Cut the bullshit, you liar. You used me.
Let me correct you, Mr. Mitchell. We used each other. Your services were so very useful, and we had a good return for our investments.
You lied to me. You said I was going to hunt him down. You said I was going to kill him. You just let my men die. You caused all this. You did all of this. You bastard.
Well, technically, we were not the one who'd been lying. We asked you to kill Mr. Freeman. We never guaranteed that you would. But liar? No. If there was a liar, it was the one who was always next to you.
You know, I'll interrupt the cutscene to say that I actually kinda like the way G-Man is written here. His manners, light sarcasm, irony are quite in character. The voice actor also does a good job and sounds quite similar to the original G-Man.
Adam, you made him betray me.
Yet again, Mr. Mitchell, he never betrayed. You simply cannot betray someone if you are never on their side, in the first place.
What are you talking about?
If you are looking for the truth, you only have to look at where this all started. Black Mesa.
No! Don't pull! No!
White people be like, damn! All this time, the man I was looking for wasn't Gordon Freeman. He doesn't even know that I exist. So, what now?
Now, since Sasha is dead, the Combine will be looking for you. They will separate their forces from City 17 and come for you. And that will create Mr. Freeman an easier path.
What? What? No fucking way! This was your grand fucking plan! You did all of this nonsense for 20 years only to use Mitchell as a distraction. This is like when Rick created an entire universe just to power his car. Except that this is not Rick and Morty exploring interesting sci-fi ideas, but G-Man executing the most complicated and stupidest plan I've ever heard about. It was even worse in 2018, when G-Man was not yet confirmed to exist beyond the concept of time. Still, how was Boris, driven by the desire to avenge Sasha, even authorized to move a large chunk of combined forces out of City 17 without Dr. Breen noticing it? What is even the point of doing that right now? Freeman was just recently teleported out of existence for a week, so the combined forces will have enough time to return. Or was Mitchell actually lying in that cell for a week by now, and neither Sasha nor we knew it? Is distracting combines even such a good idea? Like, hadn't G-Man seen what Half-Life 2 players can do? Most of them wouldn't even notice the difference. Oh, fuck it, let's just finish up with it.
And since our agreement is finished, you have our permission to die. Farewell, Mr. Mitchell.
Wait. What if I make it out alive? In one piece?
The sunny forest pathway leads me right into a rainy Combine C outpost in the middle of nowhere. Why are we here? Well...
Nick, you come!
You're alive?
Not for long.
Adam told us you were dead.
Adam, is he on the ship?
Yeah, he just got back.
Listen to me, Nick. Adam is a traitor. He set us up. He killed Sasha.
Now it all makes sense. Combine started taking down our men one by one. Why would he do something like that?
Where's Freeman?
Nobody knows. He's been missing since Prospect Blue.
He'll be back, possibly in a few hours, but the Combine don't know that. They'll think with Sasha dead that we turned against them. They're going to split their numbers to kill me. That was Adam's plan.
Damn. All right. I'll pick you up. Where are you?
I was in a prison near Prospect.
Let me check the map. Found it. There in 15 minutes.
15? I don't think I can survive that long.
Look, you have to, Mitchell. Set some defenses. Be smart.
I'll try my best.
Good luck, old friend. God be with you.
No. Fuck no. This is exactly what you are thinking about.
How long till the upload is over?
55 minutes.
55 minutes? Don't these things usually take 3 to 5 tops?
Fine. Okay, let's just go over this section quickly. For the first minute, no one has even arrived. I do not know whether the game bugged or whether it was an intentional design choice, but I was finally relieved to see a pack of Overwatch soldiers ascending on an elevator. Not that I wanted to fight them for 15 minutes that much, but sitting AFK for the whole time would have been even more boring. So, the next 2 and almost a half minutes were barely any more entertaining. The Combines were repeatedly arriving with the elevator, and I have repeatedly sent them back down to hell. But eventually I heard the dropship sound. And some of them were able to sneak up behind me. The close quarters phase on this quote-unquote epic last battle had just begun. As both elite and regular Combines were hilariously easy to kill, this had proven not to pose me much challenge. Honestly, my patience had a more difficult challenge sitting through this 5 minutes. By the 10-minute mark, a sniper had appeared on top of the hill, so I was no longer able to safely operate the stationary AR-2 machine gun. The original Half-Life cover had a now famous slogan on its back: "Run, think, shoot, live." It is the motto by which Half-Life games had been created by now. It's pretty much what made them so popular and loved even after so many years of waiting. There are many cult classic games that were extremely popular in their time and received a giant amount of popularity, fans and critical acclaims. Doom, for example. The series has a large dedicated community modding the original 1993 and 94 games even today, in 2021. So many people proclaim how much fun they've had with the series, and new critically acclaimed games continue coming out. Yet, how many representatives of newer generations have actually played any Doom games before 2016? Their fanbase seems to be separated in 2 or 3 different groups. One dedicated to OG Doom games, another to Doomslayer reboots, that's where I am, and possibly the third to Doom 3 specifically. The Half-Life universe, however, never had this problem. I myself am barely older than Half-Life 2, and I have never played it as a kid. Despite that, however, something made me want to play this game when it was already more than 10 years old, and so I did. What I'm trying to say is that despite its age, Half-Life games continue to hold relevancy and attract new, younger audiences, who are now young enough to have their parents possibly play Half-Life during their school years. And this motto is exactly what Hunt Down the Freeman lacks. Yes, you can see me running. Yep, I'm shooting the combines. Right, I live. But this 15-minute battle is pretty much the antithesis of thinking. There is nothing to think about. This is probably the most thoughtless section of the entire game. Just hold the damn trigger, Shinji. The most interesting part was when I had no ammo, so I resorted to using the annihilation balls. On the last 4 minutes of the countdown, the combines simply stopped coming. Well, let me show you something interesting then. You didn't think there would be only one ending, right? This is what happens if you die by jumping down the bridge.
What the fuck?
No, I don't have comments about it. I am still as confused 3 years later as you are. And this is what happens if you die by enemy bullets.
Adrian?
Yes, Mitchell turns out to be Adrian Shepard's, the Half-Life opposing force protagonist's long-lost brother. I have even fewer words about this one. You hardcore Half-Life fans may find a few interesting words about it, though it would likely have this video banned. One last thing before we move on. The soundtrack you can hear throughout the whole level is 15 minutes long. As I told you before, the composers were the only people who tried.
Nick! Where the hell were you? Impossible.
Adam!
Adam, where are you running? There is nothing there.
Mitch, look. Mitch, please. Mitchell, look, I can explain.
You lied to me.
No, that wasn't the deal. He told me. Mitch, please.
You betrayed me. You used me. You fucked up my face. And now...
Mitch, please. I can explain.
You have my permission to die.
Ready for your orders, Captain.
Turn the ship. We're going to Borealis.
And this is it. Here is the name of our star again. Turns out Boston Joe was voiced by the CEO of Bad Games himself. Even the Genius Man is here, but not on top of the credits because that place was not big enough for two geniuses. I also think the plot was ripped off Metal Gear Solid 5. I don't know, I haven't played it. In any case, this is the definitive ending. The game is over. I'm finally left alone to contemplate why had I been doing all of this for a small amount of 100 views per video, a barely existent YouTube psychological gratification, and hours upon hours of my free time spent on the game that never even deserved the most detailed review. I'm starting to think that the right opinion was right after all. I have naively ventured into Hunt Down the Freeman, thinking it would be an easy ride, a hilarious experience, a stupidly funny and laughably stupid plot, and a few unintentionally hilarious gameplay decisions. What I actually found was a really bad game. It might have been hilarious to you, I don't know, but that would only be because you were receiving a funny, entertaining coconut milk, while I am the person who extracted that milk by struggling through the hard shell of terrible map design, enemy placement, and tons of bugs. Partially, these episodes are coming out so rarely because I need to rest from the game, because the game burns me out, because it was never The Room, and Birkin was never a Tommy Wiseau, and I should have known that by comparing the popularity levels of these two intellectual properties. Who the hell cares about Hunt Down the Freeman today? It wasn't as memorable as I thought it would be. It was not as funny, even though it had the potential. It was just a plain horrible game, with the small nuggets of hilarity ultimately not worth the attempts to dig them. I hate myself for even going this path. I hate that I could have created more interesting, relevant and popular videos, but decided to keep the promise I gave to myself 3 years ago and fully review Hunt Down the Freeman. I hate this review series for wasting so much of my precious time. But maybe I could appreciate it. Maybe it had value, if not to the YouTube, then for me personally. That's right, I've made something, learned many things about editing, and brought at least a few people enjoyment. I've created something, and I'm not ashamed of it. I would not trade it for any other video. These reviews were worth creating.
Congratulations! 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 Congratulations!
Congratulations!
Congratulations!
Congratulations!
Congratulations!
Congratulations! Congratulations!
Congratulations!
Congratulations! Congratulations!
Oh, thank you all.